Welcome everyone to the Larsonland podcast. I'm your host Sawyer Hill, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host Dylan Bradshaw. Kind of going to start the show off on a little bit of a different note today. Um, we would we kind of want to come on here and clearly address some of the back and forth that's been going on social media this evening regarding Kyle Larson's schedule for this week. If you haven't seen it, we'll put some of the tweets up on the screen that have kind of taken place tonight. This afternoon, we got official confirmation that Kyle was going to be running tonight with the All-Star Circuit of Champions at the Lernerville Speedway. And as we always do, we put out our schedule post every week. And we included some races that were not confirmed for Kyle. So we always put stars next to those races, and just like usual, we did that tonight. Um, this week with Lernerville and Pocono and Grandview all as confirmed races, we thought that we would throw in Baps and Williams Grove with the World of Outlaws, as you know they're in Pennsylvania and all these other races are in Pennsylvania. A very likely possibility of Kyle running those events, but Baps took to they apparently saw our tweet and thought that it was a confirmed race, and they went ahead and put this up on their Twitter. Kyle Larson will be here Wednesday, July 19th, as the World of Outlaws return for the first time in over 30 years for the Brickers Bash presented by Selinsgrove Ford. And then Kyle came right back at this with this tweet saying, "I am. All I know of is that I'll be at Lernerville tonight and Grandview Speedway next Tuesday for High Limit." So, Dylan, obviously a lot of confusion here regarding our post. Our goal always is to just provide the fans with the most accurate information possible. We never want to seem like we're misleading anyone, and definitely some stuff we didn't really want to be involved in tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule, I mean, the purpose of it is to, I mean, even though the races aren't confirmed, it's to kind of like highlight it. So, I mean, it's better than, people that want to go to the race, it's better than posting it, that day. People kind of want to set their schedules up, kind of look out for the race, look out on our page for whether or not it's confirmed, kind of just lay out the weekend in the races you could race in. But, pretty routine stuff. We've been doing it for forever now. I mean, Larsonland's coming up on almost 2 years running. So, have posted a schedule for a while, and this is really the first time that it's kind of, you know, I don't know, backfired on us, I guess, because
Yeah.
the BAP Speedway kind of just, I guess, brushed over the fact that it was unconfirmed, and they confirmed it, which, I mean, I don't know, it just could have been a misunderstanding. I'm not too sure why a track would confirm something that isn't coming from, an official source. Now, maybe they thought we were an official source. They did say that we had a blue check mark, which, as we know, not you can pay for the blue check mark now, so it doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's a verified account. But yeah, I don't know, just a huge misunderstanding. Not really sure. Wouldn't be surprised if Larson still ran those shows. I don't know. I guess it was kind of implied that he wasn't going to run those shows, just Lernerville tonight and then Grandview. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I mean, just people got to pay attention to the asterisks. I mean, it's pretty apparent. Everyone was kind of backing this up. I put out a tweet addressing it. Got like, I think as of right now, it's like 25,000 views. So kind of went viral a little bit in the racing world. Everyone's kind of backing us for the people that are talking down on us. But we've never once spread any misinformation with
Yeah.
the schedule. We're not going to put out something that's confirmed that's not. We don't have an official source to a schedule, so you just kind of got to work out the schedule best you can based around NASCAR. It would make sense for him to run it. Everyone knows this by now. If he runs a race in PA NASCAR, it's not unlikely that he'll run the dirt races surrounding that area. So, um, yeah, I don't know, just an unfortunate situation, just a lot of misunderstanding.
Yeah, and like you said, we didn't have a specific source that was telling us that these races were confirmed or not confirmed. So, if we don't have official confirmation from a official source. I mean, there are circumstances where we do have an official source and we do get confirmation on races in advance. For sprint car stuff, a lot of times we don't have that confirmation. So for BAPS and for the both nights at Williams Grove, Friday and Saturday night, we had no confirmation on those races. All we knew was Kyle was going to be running Lernerville tonight, and then Pocono Sunday, and then Grandview at the High Limit Sprint Car Series next Tuesday. We knew those races were confirmed, so we put those races on the schedule along with, like you said, some races that we would expect Kyle to run. I mean, last year he ran the Wednesday night show at Port Royal, and then the Friday and Saturday night at Williams Grove. In this same kind of stretch with Pocono last year, and then this year we kind of just expected if he's going to run Lernerville and then Grandview, we would throw those in there as potential races. And I think that it's not just to we don't want to we're not putting it in there to say like Kyle's running those races. We're kind of trying to just give people an idea of like, okay, this is a possibility. This could happen. Because a lot of times people don't scour over the schedules and look at them all the time like we do, where we pick out these races like this. We see, okay, these races line up with the NASCAR schedule and they line up with other stuff that Kyle's running. So we're going to kind of let everybody else know that there's a chance that that could happen. If we don't just blatantly go out of our way to put these races on there. It's not like we're saying there's a race in Indiana today or in Indiana tomorrow night that Kyle's going to be at, and then he's going to be at Pocono the next day. I mean, it's just like we don't put crazy stuff out there. The stuff we put is it's all backed up by common sense, and again, we're not trying to have any bad blood with anybody. We don't want to. Obviously, Baps has a huge race tomorrow night. The first time in over 30 years that the World of Outlaws return to their track. Huge tip of the cap to those guys getting a race at that track, and we don't want to cast a shadow over that event with this whole deal going on here. So I've reached out to Baps and kind of extended my apologies for the misunderstanding, but just a crappy situation, Dylan, and definitely not the way we wanted to start off this night with what a good night it ended up being with Kyle's win at Lernerville. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, just frustrating, and sometimes it's hard to keep on doing stuff like this when there's so many people that are going back and forth about what is Kyle racing here, is Kyle racing there. We try and do our best job, and we don't want Kyle or his team to get pissed off at us at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're just trying our best to get the info out to the fans. I mean, as we know, Kyle, he doesn't really have a set schedule, so that's where people look to Larsonland for the info. And like I said earlier, I mean, people want to know what races they'll be at. They don't want to wait till race day to just drop everything and
Yeah.
go. You don't have to get tickets in advance for dirt races. You just go get them as soon as you get there if you want to go. So, yeah, I mean, it's just informative. And there were some people giving some suggestions out how we should handle in the future, saying that we should maybe leave off the unconfirmed races, but then it kind of contradicts like the whole trying to help people, look out for the races that are coming up. We'd end up posting like 13 different schedules throughout the week just because Kyle, he just kind of on the fly. A lot of races, he just, you know, enters in last minute and it's just on the fly. So, I don't know. I think people just at the end of the day just need to pay a little bit more attention and read the post, and this could all be solved. But maybe we'll have to reformat it a little bit, kind of dumb it down for some people out there.
Yeah, and I mean, I look at this from a lot of different angles. I look at it from, from us as Larsonland, as a page, how we perceive this, and how Kyle looks at this, how Baps looks at it, how the average race fan looks at this, and my message to everybody that's watching is if you're in the Pennsylvania area, if you're close to Baps tomorrow night and you can go to that race. Who cares if Kyle Larson's going to be there? It's going to be an awesome race. Same thing for Williams Grove. If you're close by and it doesn't interrupt your day to go to that race, go out to that race and support that event. I mean, that's what our goal is. We want to support events, support tracks, regardless of whether Kyle's going to be there. So, but from my perspective, like I look at it as I was planning on going to Baps tomorrow night. So I was planning on going, and for me, it's a little bit more complicated. I'm almost 3 hours away, and it's like I got to take off the afternoon from work to go to the race. So for me, it's like I'm probably not gonna go because of that. And um, we wanna provide the best information possible so everybody can make these types of decisions. Like for me, I'm gonna make my decision to probably not go to the race tomorrow now because of this. But for somebody else, they may want to take off work and still go. So we just want to put all the information on the table and let people decide for themselves, not have this giant misinformation or this giant confusion that happened tonight. So I guess we'll kind of put this on the back burner and move ahead, Dylan. We had a busy week of racing for Kyle this past week. We started off at the Attica Raceway Park last Tuesday night for the Brad Doty Classic. I posted a stats post last Tuesday afternoon of Kyle's stats at Attica. Coming into the race, he had 5 career wins in 9 starts, and in his last 5 starts, 4 wins. Stellar career there at Attica, and it was another dominant performance for Kyle at Attica, leading every single lap of that event, picking up his third Brad Doty Classic win. I didn't get to watch the entire race, Dylan, but what were some of your thoughts on Attica?
Yeah, I mean, Larson was pretty quick. I mean, as you kind of just explained, Larson kind of owns Attica at this point, but Larson started second. He kind of took the lead from McFadden immediately out of turn two, kept the lead from there on out. Audenshield was the one giving him a little bit of trouble. He was making him work for it, but for once, Larson he benefited from the cautions, got some timely cautions, helped him out in containing the lead. But I mean, pretty much smooth sailing from there. Audenshield, he was like I said, he was edging on him in a few spots, but those cautions helped him out, especially in lap traffic. But I mean, yeah, just smooth sailing. At the last lap, I think in the last turn, he kind of went over the cushion a little bit, lost control, got a little scared there. I thought he was going to spin out, but held on to it. First driver to win back-to-back Brad Doty Classics. Second driver with at least 3 total wins in the event. So impressive stuff there. Just pretty much just dominates Attica as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those tracks that Kyle just seems to show up and always be really good at as soon as they unload from the trailer. So it kind of was we thought some good momentum heading into the Eldora Million, which started the very next night, Wednesday night and Thursday night. Kind of funny, on the Attica broadcast, how the World of Outlaws they wouldn't talk about the Eldora Million. I mean, literally the biggest sprint car race in history and a big moment for a lot of their drivers. I mean, one of their full time drivers, Logan Schuchart, was the Eldora Million winner. So, kind of funny that they didn't want to talk about this race at all. Probably the biggest moment in a lot of their drivers' careers, and they just acted like it was Attica and then on to the King's Royal 3 days later, and nothing in between. Kind of interesting stuff there, Dylan.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know Larson. He posted during prelim night. He kind of threw a little bit of jab, announcing the event, saying that they didn't cover it. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, pretty much. I mean, every one of the World of Outlaws drivers. I mean, every sprint car driver in the nation that can get out there is competing in this. It's the biggest event of all time. It's $1 million, biggest payday. So I mean, everyone's going to compete in it. So it is pretty crazy. I mean, same thing kind of with High Limit. I mean, there seems to be a little bit of bad blood with these series. They don't seem to be too united. Kind of throwing a little bit of shade here and there, but yeah, I mean, it ended up being a pretty good night, the prelim night. Larson started sixth, finished third in the feature. That was the points format, just going through all the races and the points. Had two different groups, so Larson went from seventh to second in the Group A Heat 4 race. It was split into two, like I said, so there was two features. Pretty good in the feature. Started sixth, got up to fourth pretty quick. Speed was definitely there, but just wasn't a super long event. Only a 25 lapper. Finished the night on third, decent on points. Kind of set him up a little bit for the million, showing some speed that he could have and how the night could go.
Yeah, and so from that prelim night, like you said, the points were accumulated, and Kyle ended up being fifth overall in Eldora Million points, which put him on the pole of heat race number five, or qualifier number five, whatever you want to call it, for Thursday night's main event. So in his heat race, he was able to pick up the win there, and just didn't get the best of luck in the redraw, Dylan. We've seen him have bad luck before in these redraws. It was the top six cars getting redrawn for the top six spots in the million, and Kyle drew the six. So Kyle started sixth, and it was really a shame, in my opinion. And I was talking to somebody about this today that both of the two biggest races we've seen this year, the Houston High Bank Nationals, $250,000 to win, and the Eldora Million, both were kind of plagued by weather at the beginning of the events, and the track at Eldora was super fast that night because of weather, and then also at the Houston race, the weather that came in there and messed that. Or excuse me, I'm talking about the King's Royal,
Yeah,
the
that
King's
was
Royal
pretty
with the
good.
weather. So I mean the King's Royal. I was saying, and the Houston Tie Bank Nationals. Both of those races were kind of plagued by the rain just affecting the track conditions. But in the Million, it was even in that race, it was really hard to pass, and Logan Schuchart just dominated that race, and then Kyle, obviously with his big time incident there.
Yeah, like you said, pretty difficult to pass. I know Larson said he kind of needed the track to get a little bit slicker if he had a chance. They had the interviews of the drivers, so we got to tap in a little bit during that huge break that they had. It was pretty crazy. I mean, like you brought up a point. It's like XFL. The commentators coming in and interviewing players right after a touchdown. So yeah, just crazy stuff. But yeah, lap 20, Reitzel spun out in turn two. Massive pile up. Larson hit Reitzel head on. Flipped over a little bit, got plowed full speed by another car. Terrible situation, direct impact, destroyed the car. Entire fuel cell was completely off the car. Thankfully, everyone came away okay, but it just sucks. You're waiting for that event, biggest event of the year, biggest payday. Larson, he's looking quick. Started sixth. He's in a decent position, decent chance to get the win, and just terrible luck. As soon as the break ended, lap 20, turn two, just terrible luck ended his night. And then, you had the next night, the night before the Kings Royal, a little bit more Twitter controversy, just a little bit, not as much as tonight. Everyone was kind of wondering what was happening with the backup car. They ended up they don't carry a backup car, they carry a backup frame. So it took them some time to get the car back together. They're like in a parking lot rebuilding an entire car for the Kings Royal. So yeah, everyone was concerned about that, whether or not he was going to run that. But ultimately, as we know, he did not run that. Went straight to the Kings Royal. But yeah, just wanted to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely a controversial thing. I thought that was gonna be the most controversial thing that happened over the past 7 days until we had our little Twitter thing tonight with Baps. But yeah, everybody was kind of throwing out different conspiracy theories about why Kyle wasn't running on Friday night, and we tried to just make a generic post saying like Kyle Larson will not be running the tonight's race, and we said it's unclear whether it's due to the damage to the car, and then everybody was like, "Oh, was Kyle hurt from the wreck, or is Kyle this? Is Kyle that? Do they not have a backup car? Do they have a backup car? Did Kyle have prior commitments with NASCAR stuff that night?" Like, it was a million different things, and like at the end of the day, we kind of just put out a tweet just saying, "Look, bottom line, Kyle Larson's not racing tonight. Like, we'll see everybody tomorrow. Kyle will be back for the Kings Royal and for NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying." And I mean, Twitter is a dark, dark place, Dylan. I mean, we've seen like, it goes downhill really fast. As soon as you put something out, it can be spun a million different ways for one person to interpret it one way or one person to interpret it another.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what way you put it, someone's gonna just pick at it and figure out a way to spin it to make you look bad, just fire at you. But I mean, ultimately, you have your supporters and the people with common sense for the most part to kind of back you up and be a neutral side in the situation. So, yeah, there's that. I mean, going into the Kings Royal since he didn't race the night before, but we might as well just say it. The format's awful. People have their opinions. I think it was pretty universal on agreeing that the format's awful, but pretty much leave it at the Eldora Million winner did not qualify for the race. The third place finisher, Brad Sweet, in the Eldora Million did not qualify for the race. Some other notable names: Brian Brown didn't qualify, Darren Pittman didn't qualify, Spencer Basin didn't qualify, Jacob Allen didn't qualify. So you have, heavy hitters, top sprint car drivers didn't qualify for the event. Just ridiculous. Five of the drivers in the World of Outlaw top 10 in points did not qualify for the feature. And it's ridiculous. I mean, it rewards the people that aren't running 100% around the track. It's an abusive system. A big guy that was pointed out was Gravel. He benefited from
Yeah.
sandbagging. He ended up starting on the second row in the feature. Everyone knew he wasn't running 100%. And looking at a tweet Wikipedia put out, he was definitely putting out some good tweets in regards to that. Qualifying finish of the Kings Royal heat transfers. So heat one, the qualifying finishes went 31st, 25th, and 19th. Two 32nd, 26th, 14th. Three 33rd, 27th, 15th. Heat four 28th, 34th, 16th. Heat five 35th, 29th, 17th. And finally, Heat six 24th, 36th, and 30th. A lot of 30s, a lot of 20s in there. Ridiculous format. They've had it forever, but that doesn't mean it's good. It's just bad. It's such a big event. It's such a big paying event, such a big event, sprint car racing, and you're killing the guys that are showing speed, the ones that make it a good race, the ones that are out there up front battling, and you're just putting, pylons out there in front to just hold up and ruin the quality of racing.
Yeah, there was I don't know. I was so frustrated on Twitter that about that format, Dylan. And I know you say like the majority of people don't like the format, but there were people that were like hardcore defending this format, like saying like this is the way it's been. If you don't like the format, then don't watch the race. Like whatever, dude. If you think that format's a good format, then like apparently you don't like real racing because that was not real racing when what was it the first car in qualifying to transfer to the feature through a heat race was what 14th fastest qualifier, the top what 13 or 14 fastest qualifiers didn't make it into the A main through their heat race. They had to come through a B main. I mean, like stuff like that is just so irritating to me. And maybe we would have saw a better race if we saw the guys that were actually like the good cars that were fast in qualifying up front. But instead, we had a bunch of back markers that were spread throughout the field that shouldn't even have been in the feature. No offense to those guys. I mean, but it's like we were missing the stars of the show. I mean, like you said, the Eldora Million winner and his teammate Jacob Allen weren't even in the race. It was like I don't know. It's like we're watching I'm not even gonna say, but it's just like stuff like that just makes no sense to me, Dylan. And people were complaining. I saw like Jonathan Davenport on Twitter complaining about like the inverts and stuff for the Eldora Million format on Wednesday night, where they inverted the heat races and the 25 lap features for that. But like honestly, that's a better format because you're accumulating points. With inverts where you're accumulating points, it's different because you're still getting credited for your qualifying effort. But in the Eldora or in the Kings Royal format, qualifying didn't matter. All that mattered about qualifying was how slow could you go without with making the invert. Like if you were first fastest qualifier, I think Justin Peck was fast time. He made the feature, but I think he exited early.
Yeah.
Just off a provisional. I think the top two qualifiers that didn't advance got a provisional into like a certain row, but um, like he didn't get rewarded for that in any other way other than just like getting a provisional into the race. It wasn't based off of points or anything like that. So, in my opinion, I loved the Eldora Million format. It worked out really good, and I think that the drivers that were good were rewarded, and the guys that weren't so good didn't get a phony a win or a phony placement in the feature. It was you had to earn your way, and I just think that the Kings Royal format was terrible, and especially with the way the track was after the rain, it really highlighted how bad it was.
Yeah, I was gonna touch on that, the track conditions, but regarding Kyle Larson, I mean, decent finish, he started 15th, ended up 5th. Surprising given the track conditions. There was really no passing at all. I mean, I was surprised he made it up that far. A lot of people that were talking about the format were kind of blaming it on the weather. The track conditions obviously weren't ideal, but I don't know. The format just needs to change. It's a terrible format. We can pretty much all cried out about it at this point. There's nothing we can do or say about it. I don't think they'll end up changing it just because it's been this way for so long. Hopefully in the future the track conditions kind of make it better. But like I said, you still have your guys that are going to sandbag and abuse the format because they know, which I mean, it sucks, but good on them. I mean, they're kind of showing the holes and the bad sides of it. Like David Gravel, like I said, he was the biggest one benefiting from it. He's kind of abusing it and showing the holes. So maybe that's a good example to Eldora in the future in the series to maybe try to change things up. But yeah, just terrible format. But fifth place finish for Larson, not terrible, but what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kyle kind of maximized his week as far as what he could do there at Eldora. It's always tough at Eldora. I mean, I know me and you were personally not the biggest fans of Eldora or really half miles in general on dirt. I mean, it's a shame that we've seen the three biggest races in sprint car racing this year, the Houston Side Bank Nationals, the Kings Royal, and the Eldora Million, all three races pretty much were snoozers. I mean, like three of the most boring races of the entire season were the three biggest races of the season. I think that they're like that's unacceptable in my opinion. I think that it, I mean, I guess you could say like the prestige of the Eldora Million like itself is worth the price of admission for a fan and just being at the Eldora Speedway and that experience as a whole. But like for me, I was considering going out there to that race and like going for like the whole weekend, and I'm so glad that I didn't go because like it was just a I mean the week was a mess. It was in terms of like the quality of racing, and then obviously Kyle not running Friday night and the wreck on Thursday in the million. But overall, congrats Logan Schuhart, another $1 million man in dirt track racing, and just I guess move on to the next one. I mean, Kyle moved on right along pretty quick and had to go race at New Hampshire on Sunday, which got rained out and postponed to Monday with the NASCAR Cup Series. It seems like rain's just been following NASCAR the past couple weeks. I think it's 4 weeks in a row that a race has been affected by rain, and Kyle was able to pick up a surprising third place finish after starting 15th there at New Hampshire. Um, the Hendrick cars didn't look very good at New Hampshire, but it was Martin Truex Jr. picking up the dominant win and his third win of the season, climbing to the second position in the playoff standings.
Yeah, Martin Truex Jr. might be on Mondays, he might be the greatest driver of all time. I mean, Dover rain out, you got New Hampshire, might be the greatest, but, yeah, like you said, the race was dominated by Truex. Behind him there were some strategy calls, some decent races behind him, but, made it count for an okay show. Larson's definitely shown his improvement on short track racing this year, between Richmond, Martinsville, those 2 wins, and now New Hampshire with the 3rd place finish, so he's improved a lot. Good points day. Got a second place finish in stage two. Was hoping he would win that. I know he was starting up front on the restart before the end there, but just couldn't really capitalize on that. It's getting kind of annoying in these stage finishes. You want a stage win. He's come so close this year. I know he's had a multiple second place finishes, a few times in the past few weeks. So don't know when he'll get that, but yeah, chalk it up. Third place finish, decent day, good points day. Just got to keep moving forward. Got Pocono up next. He's historically, pretty good there. Got some bad memories there. I remember the 2021 race where he had the win in the bag,
Oh man.
threw the tire on the last turn. Bowman backed into that one. That was terrible. Just a bad memory there. Hopefully nothing like that happens. But
And that was like on
I'm
a
not.
win streak too, wasn't it? Like that was
Yeah,
like he
that.
won like 3 or 4 races in a row right before that, I think.
Yeah, I think it was on the win streak. So,
Yeah.
not sure about the weather. I know you're planning to go. I don't know if the weather's clear or not for Pocono.
Let's take a look. I've been checking it the past couple of days. It's been showing rain, no rain, rain, no rain. I mean, it's hard to even say these days. But let's see. Right now it shows sunny and 77 on race day this weekend. So hopefully it stays clear for Pocono, and I'll definitely be there on location for that one. I was planning on going to some other races this week, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it out to those. I'll be at Grandview on Tuesday night for sure with the High Limit Sprint Car Series. So if you see me there, say hi. I'll be wearing the Larsonland shirt and hat and all that stuff. But yeah, Pocono should be a good race. Like you said, Kyle's usually pretty fast there, and I mean, Kyle's kind of put together some good finishes. Aside from Atlanta 2 weeks ago with the incident there, um, Kyle's been pretty steady. He hasn't had a car that's had race winning pace, but again, just these smooth finishes like this, he's still eighth in the raw point standings, and Martin Truex Jr. is the points leader in that, but he's like 90 some points behind, I think. He could close up the gap and kind of get to like maybe third or something and get some more bonus points heading into the playoffs, and we know how important those bonus points are. So these finishes like this, it's frustrating in some ways where it's like we want to see him pick up stage wins and win the race, but there's he's got bigger fish to fry when it comes to the playoffs, and he's got other points that are available by moving up in the point standings there.
Do you think Elliott's gonna get his win and make it in? I think he's like 60 points under the cut line right now without a win. Do you think he's gonna sneak his way in?
I honestly thought about this yesterday after the race for a couple minutes and thinking about both Hendrick Motorsports drivers that are sitting below the cut line right now, Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott. And I think it's going to be very hard for one of these two drivers to pick up a win and punch their ticket to the playoffs. I think that neither of them in this middle section of the season have shown that they've had race winning pace. I mean, we've seen Byron and we've seen Larson both have really fast cars and be able to pick up consistent top fives, top tens. But for Chase and for Alex, I don't want to say it's even related to their injuries because I don't think it is. I think it's just something's not hit. They're not hitting on all cylinders with those two teams, and you know. Like you said, unless they pick up a win, I don't see either of those teams making it. I think there's still a chance they can make it in on points, but very unlikely. And it's a shame because I think for Bowman especially, he was really good off in points at the beginning of the season before his penalty that happened, and then after the penalty from NASCAR, then he got injured in the high limit race, and it's kind of thrown a wrench in his season. So I think he would be in if it wasn't for that, and Chase obviously with his injury too. But I don't know what tracks are up next, Dylan. How many more races do we have? We have six races left, I think. Let's see.
We got Pocono, and then we go right back to Richmond. Then we got Michigan, the Indy Road Course, the most boring race of the year. We got Watkins Glen, and then Daytona to cap it off. So Pocono, good for Kyle. Richmond, defending winner, good for Kyle. Michigan, that's one of his
Good
best
for
statistical
Kyle.
tracks. Yeah, that's one of his best tracks.
Yeah.
Indy Road Course, like I said, just I might not even watch that. Watkins Glen, good for
But we
Kyle.
got another. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Watkins Glen, good for Kyle, and then Daytona, obviously not very good for Kyle, but yeah, I mean it's looking good for him.
Yeah. So looking at the schedule, I kind of wanted to look at that for Chase and for Alex. I think that okay. So for Richmond, I think I think Richmond is probably the race that Alex Bowman probably has circled on his calendar. And then for Chase Elliott, it's probably Watkins Glen. I think Chase probably has the best chance to win at Watkins Glen. And then Alex Bowman probably has the best chance to win, maybe at Pocono or Richmond. One of those two. The next 2 weeks are going to be crucial for those guys at those two tracks, which I think he's pretty decent at. And then Daytona, obviously, at the final race of the regular season, that's always a wild card. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe we'll see somebody completely outside of the normal or outside of the top 16 win that that race. Maybe a Todd Gilliland or something crazy. I don't know.
How many winners are there right now? Like total winners, different winners,
Right now there are
like 12 or something.
Right now, there's only 11 different
Okay.
winners. The five drivers inside of the above the cut line are Kevin Harvick at plus 137, Brad Keselowski at plus 108, Chris Buescher at plus 97, Bubba Wallace at plus 2, and then Michael McDowell at plus 1. And then below those guys, it's like Suarez and Ty Gibbs that are like right there below the line.
Maybe we'll see some different winners for the remaining of the season. Just get cover it all the bases and get more than 16. I don't know. It was crazy. And what was it? Playoffs last year. There was what 3 4 weeks straight where there was a different winner. I
Yeah.
think that's what it was,
Oh
and they
yeah.
weren't even in playoffs.
Yeah, that was like the one. It was one round, I think it was. Maybe it was the first round where it was like three winners that weren't even playoff drivers. I think
I think it was
it was
Buescher was one of
Truex.
them. I think Buescher, right?
It was Busher, Truex,
Eric
and
Jones
Eric
at the Southern
Jones.
500. Yeah,
Yeah, so it was like
crazy.
three guys that were not even in the playoffs that won
And then you had
races.
guys like Harvick last year who weren't even in, and then they go on like a crazy win streak and just are
Yeah.
like killing everyone.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
crazy.
I honestly could see like okay, so Harvick won Michigan last year. Obviously, Kyle's really good at Michigan, but I mean, Harvick's the best off in the point situation above the cut line right now, at plus 137. I could see him winning Michigan or Richmond. That's two really good tracks for Harvick. So I think he could win a race even though he's above the cut line and just take another spot away from somebody else potentially sliding up there at the bottom, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but like we said, good stretch of races for Kyle. Kind of capitalize, get the momentum going in the playoffs. Pocono, Richmond, Michigan. So those are some good tracks to look out for. So, you know, going hot, got good momentum, good finishes. To kind of get towards the end of this year and buckle down for the playoffs. But kind of going away from NASCAR. Lernerville was tonight. Good finish as you said. He got the win earlier. The race was what, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes ago. Just saw him get that win. So yeah, started second on that battle with Buddy early on. Took the lead on lap 19. He kind of waited for the right time to get the lead. Waited for the traffic to hit. Track was super slick. They had to be really patient, it seemed. The cars were going really slow around the track. Had to be careful with the passes, but yeah, ultimately picked up the win. I think it was his 29th All-Star Circuit Champions win in his career. So domination there from Kyle Larson.
Yeah, and in Kyle's, it was his sixth start at the Lernerville Speedway. Never finished worse than second place at Lernerville. He's got now three first place finishes and three second place finishes at Lernerville. So definitely a track that Kyle, um, you know, if he's got the chance to go there, he should probably go there because he's always really good and has a chance to win, and he'll be able to go back there later in the season for $50,000 with the High Limit Sprint Car Series, where he's currently on a 3 race win streak as we're kind of in a break and we head into Grandview next Tuesday night. So good race there at Lernerville. As far as the rest of the schedule goes, coming up for Kyle, confirmed races, Pocono and Grandview. Anything else? We're not gonna comment on. we're gonna leave our little star next to the rest of those races, and we're not gonna talk about them. So this is probably the longest podcast we've ever had. If you've made it this long through the video, we
Jeez,
thank you for listening. It's
almost
it,
40 minutes.
yeah, almost 40 minutes so far. We're at 36 minutes right now, and thank you guys everybody for the support. We really do this for everybody that watches and everybody that follows us on all of our social medias. We just hit 10,000 followers on Facebook last night, so that's a huge milestone for us as Instagram guys. I mean, we started off on Instagram. We've always ran our social media stuff on Instagram, and our Instagram's about to hit 5,000. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, we're 7 followers away from 5,000 there. We love to hit that milestone, and we're just super excited to keep growing our fan base and Kyle's fan base and race fans as a whole. Where we want to welcome in a whole new generation of race fans with social media, and kind of our goal has always been to create this innovative experience for race fans.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think we'd make it this far. We came from, running a Ravens NFL account together, stopped that, decided to start a Larson page because there wasn't very many out there. Wasn't very many actually, there was none at all that covered dirt at the time. So, yeah, it just definitely made a lot of strides. Got to a point where we didn't think we would make. Started on Instagram, went to Twitter, Facebook. That Facebook's our biggest platform. Tons of engagement, tons of interaction on Facebook. So, YouTube. Our YouTube's been growing a good bit. We've got some good views on the past few videos. So yeah, like you said, just want to thank everyone for all the support. Hope to keep going. Look out for any asterisks on any post, any future post. I think that'll become like a new meme on the Twitter. I saw one guy, we laughed about it. He just put a little asterisk under one of the tweets as a
Yeah.
reply. So maybe that'll turn into like a little meme for the future.
Yeah, and I definitely, with all this going down, hopefully, either I'll be in the pits Pocono on Sunday, and I'll be, at Grandview on Tuesday. Hopefully, I'll get the chance to talk to Kyle and kind of clear the air about some of this stuff, and really get a clear understanding of what he wants. I don't, we don't want to be on Kyle's bad side, or we don't want to do things that Kyle doesn't want us to do. So, we want to talk to Kyle and have a conversation there, and make sure that everything we're doing is good with him and good with everybody. We want to provide the best content for everybody, and keep everybody happy. So if you made it this far, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please follow our podcast so you don't miss a thing. We'll be back again next week to recap NASCAR at Pocono and hopefully Grandview with the High Limit Sprint Car Series. We will see you in the next episode.